Hey coach, it's been Nabers. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to answer this question. This is a problem that I have solved for coaches hundreds of times up to this point, and I wanted to have a clear step-by-step video with how you can solve this problem for yourself. If you have like 50 or 100 or maybe even 150 clients and you feel burnt out and you want to scale and grow the business, but you're too exhausted. Okay. I got this question from a coach that has been watching my YouTube videos, and I wanted to take a call with him and learn more about his situation. And I'm going to go into a lot of depth in this video because I know if you are tired at the end of the week, you're going to resonate with what I'm talking about in this video. And I'm going to give as much information as possible here. So please take notes, write some stuff down. I know this is going to help you if you get to this situation or if you're in this situation right now. Now, when this coach messaged me, the first thing that I did is I just messaged him back and I was like, look, I don't want to text you back and forth a million different things. Let's just get on a call and let me learn more about what you're doing and see how I can help. So, this coach, I'm going to give you all the information. All right. So, he has 50 clients, and everybody that he's training is either doing one on one training or group training. He's training about 30 sessions per week, which that to me, that's pretty high. Like he could definitely be training less hours and be making more money. And I'll talk about that here in a little bit. But he's working 30 hours. And I asked him, though, I said, what does your day-to-day schedule look like? Like, how are you actually spending your time? And like, why are you so tired? And so I just let him talk for about 5 minutes. And what I realized was, yes, he's training 30 hours per week, but his time is getting swallowed up every single day because what he's doing is at the beginning of the week, he's texting 50 people individually and he's saying, hey, this is what our schedule is this week. Are you able to make it? And so what he's doing is he's going back and forth with 50 people one on one. Now, that is a part time job in itself. And we found out that literally just him texting people back and forth and trying to set the schedule with clients, at the beginning of the week, that's a daily thing that he was doing back and forth, waiting for people, people changing things last second, sometimes having to call people. So it's like this part-time job that he's working that he's not getting paid there. All right. That's the amount of hours that he's doing plus the training that he's doing. So I asked him, I said, if we get rid of that completely, how much easier do you think your business is going to be, even if you work the same amount, even if you're training 30 hours per week, how much easier is your business going to be? He was like, man, if I could do that, my business is going to be so much easier. I was like, okay, well, what else are you spending your time on? And then this is where things got even crazier. And this is a normal thing for a lot of coaches that are probably watching this video right now. And you will probably resonate with this. So he's texting people to get them to book a session, basically. And then he's texting people after the session to pay, and he's sending them payment links, and he's trying to collect on the money that he should have made before he ran the session in the first place. And so that is something he's doing like that night after the sessions are done. He's literally doing that 6, 7 days per week. He's texting people to show up, and then he's texting people to pay after the session is done. And I said, okay, well, we need to get rid of that too, because if we're going to get rid of texting the schedule, we need to get rid of texting the payment links to parents. And, how much easier is your business going to be at that point? He was like, yeah, like, I mean, I'm going to have way more free time. I was like, okay, well, you know, with the training that you're doing, you're doing like 30 hours per week right now with the training that's going on. Like, do you want to cut down on that? And he was like, yes, I do, but I'm just trying to phase away from the one-on-one stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, if we do this in the right order, this is going to be really simple for your customers, and it's also going to be really easy for you. And so I gave him this process that I want to give you if you're watching this. Okay. The first thing that we're going to do is we're not going to, overwhelm his customers and bring on 1,000 different changes at once. That does not work. Um, I've been in this industry for too long, and I know when you are trying to like make a massive change in your business, it that in itself is overwhelming. And if you try to tell all of your customers, we're going to do this, um, it's not going to work out as well as you think. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is how we actually communicate these changes is everything. If you're trying to text changes or email changes, it's not going to work nearly as well as if you talk to your customers face to face, or if you pick up the phone and you call your customers and you tell them what's up. And the reason why is people just get bombarded with text messages and emails all day. And if you're trying to make have a stance in your business and make a big change, like no one's going to sit there and read a long email from you and then just be like, okay, cool, that's how we're doing it now. Like people don't uh, behave that way. Like they need to be told what to do. And again, if you're running a business, it's your business. You are working with your customers, and your customers will follow your lead. Okay. So now that tone is set, right? So how we communicate and, how much are we going to change at the beginning? Because again, if you overwhelm your clients, it's not going to go well. Okay. So I gave him kind of a timeline. I was like, all right, you know, we're in November right now. When we get to the middle of December, it should be a great goal to notify all of your clients, because this gives him more than enough time to do this. Notify all the clients that when we get to December 15th, all client communication is changing, and it's going to be very different, to where he's not going to be messaging everybody at the beginning of the week. He's not going to be asking people for payments after sessions are done. And so this requires him having like real sit down conversations with his clients. Because if he does this, he's going to save, 40 to probably 60 hours per month of not having to go back and forth with people anymore. Like again, that's like a part-time job that he's doing right now. And once we get rid of that, his whole business becomes easier literally overnight. And so I told him, I said, look, we need to be able to approach your customers, and we need to have a plan of attack, meaning we have to switch how you are getting paid. So how you're getting paid right now is not working. Like the communication, people falling through the cracks, reminding them after the session, that's not going to work. Because we looked at how many clients he has, how many sessions he runs per week, and how much money he's making. All of those things are mismatched. Like he should be making way more money than he is right now. And that's a whole separate issue. Uh, but we have the goal of December 15th. By then, the communication is done. Like there's a streamlined way of getting paid, there's a streamlined way of booking sessions or committing to sessions on set day, set time. And I told him, I said, once we have that down, you're going to see how much easier your business is between December 15th and December 31st before the new year starts. And once that gets changed, then what we need to be able to do is we got to make, in my opinion, the biggest change that's going to make the best difference in his business for a long period of time, which is we need to shift his training model. Because right now he's doing like 30 sessions per week. And the reason why he's really tired right now, it's not because of all the training sessions he's doing. It's because of all the back end stuff that he's doing. And like once we get rid of that, like he's gonna have a lot more free time to take on more customers, sell, market, and do all that. But how he's actually delivering his training, that's the part that needs to change. And I told him, I said, we have to completely go away from the one-on-one model, or you need to make your one-on-one program a very high premium thing that only a few people do per month, and it's exclusive. And everybody else that we work with is going to come into group training. And this way, what we're doing is we can start to cut down on the amount of hours that he's training, because a lot of the clients he's training right now are in one-on-one. And so we needed to then have an announcement, and again, like going to his clients sometime in the spring and letting them know that, okay, when we get to, I'm just, making this date up, when we get to March 15th, all one-on-one training is going to be finished. Or it's like all one-on-one training is going to be this price. And if you don't want to do that, we have our group option, which is way more affordable than our one-on-one option. And what he can do at that point is he can start to separate himself from doing a lot of one-on-one sessions and start to focus more of his time doing group training. And the other thing that we looked at in his business is the groups that he has right now are like, it's like 2 or 3 kids. And I asked him, I said, if there's 6 kids in a session, is that going to make your session that much different than having 3 kids? And he was like, no. And I was like, okay, then, you know, do you want to train more than 6 kids at once? And he was like, no, I want to try to keep it like a small group. And I was like, great, let's do 6. So we broke down the math and I was like, okay, right now you're doing 30 hours per week. And he's doing like roughly, it's kind of inconsistent. He's roughly doing like 6 to 7 or maybe 8 grand a month doing the amount of training he's doing and all the back end stuff. And I said, we can cut down on the amount of hours per week by 20 hours. We can cut down 20 hours. So instead of doing 30 sessions per week, we can start doing 10 sessions per week. If we move to the group model of 6 per session, we can have 60 clients total, and they're split up into 10 groups of 6. If we do that and we charge $200 per person per month, now you're making $12,000 guaranteed per month versus like an inconsistent 7 to 8 grand. And so what we're doing is we're cutting down on the amount of sessions that he's running by a lot, by more than half. And we're getting rid of all the communication, all the texting, all the reminding, about the payments, all that goes away. And I was like, how much free time are you going to have now when you do that? Because, if we cut down to 10 hours per week, that's 2 hours per day, Monday through Friday. Your entire weekends are free. Most of your day is free. And what you can do at that point is you can really grow your business because now your free time during the day can be spent on marketing and sales. Because right now he does not have the time to do that. He's too busy going back and forth with people. And when he's trying to, do anything in his business marketing wise, he's getting interrupted by people during the day that are texting him. And this is why you have to run this like a real professional business. And you want to put yourself in a spot where even if you have a lot of clients, you're condensing the amount of actual sessions that are being offered, but we're getting rid of a lot of the back and forth communication between you and clients. Because I know it happens to everybody that's in this industry. You get to a certain point and then you get afraid to take on new customers. And the reason why you're afraid to take on new customers is because you know every time you take on a new customer, it's going to require too much back and forth. And that's going to be a heavier load on your shoulders. And instead, what we need to do, like I said, we got to cut the communication. We need to switch the training model, either a premium one-on-one or just shifting everybody into groups, cut the amount of hours that are being offered, and have more kids per session, like 6. And there are coaches that I work with that have like 40 kids in a group session, or they might have 3 or 4. Your training philosophy, how you do stuff, that's totally unique to you. But I think you understand what I'm trying to explain here. You don't want to pigeonhole yourself and get to a spot where you can only get to a certain amount of customers and then that's it. And if you're watching this and you are dealing with what I'm talking about, I would love to help you personally and customize a solution for you and your business. And on the low end, like I said, if he executes everything I'm talking about, he's going to be doing $12,000 per month consistently versus like a 7 to 8,000 inconsistent up and down type of month. At the end of the day, that's a $4,000 per month difference. And over the course of a year, that's $48,000 more that he can make in his business while working 20 hours less per week. All right. That's a pretty crazy difference. All right. That's literally working 80 hours less per month and making 48 to 50,000 more dollars over the course of 1 year. So if you're watching this and you want some of my help, go right below this video, hit the first link in the description, watch my video. It's updated with what I do, how it works. I would love to chat with you one on one and help you grow your business to the next level. See you later.